welcome to Find It this evening. And this show is all about finding something that can inspire us. And I got to tell you, our guest tonight, Jason Freeman, author, entrepreneur, public speaker, is with us. And it may surprise you when you get to meet him that he's a public speaker. But I will say I can quote him in saying that he went stressful decades trying to attain perfection until one day he accepted himself for who he is. And buddy, you wait. He is one heck of a guy with a great sense of humor. And we're going to show his intro, and he will be right back with us. Hi, Jason.
Hi, Debbie. Thanks for the cool intro, and thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you. And after reading part of your story, it's so inspiring. And I just can't wait to dive right into it to share you with everyone listening and watching today. So let's just start with, where you were born and raised.
I was born in Kansas City, Missouri, and raised near Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which is on the southeastern side of the state, the opposite side that Mount Rushmore is on.
Gotcha. And how long did you live there?
For most of my life, I spent 10 years in San Diego, but came back home in 2020.
Got you. And now you're living in South Dakota. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, living back in South Dakota.
Okay. Well, it's so inspiring to me to read about, and you do have a book. So I want to show everyone what the outside of the book looks like. It's called Awkwardly Awesome, Embracing My Imperfect Best. And Jason also has a podcast called Awkwardly Awesome, right, Jason?
Yeah, Awkwardly Awesome podcast.
Yeah, and you can get this book on Amazon. I just ordered it today. And is that Amazon? Do you also, you have a website also. And I gave your website to Len that she can click across at some point. So if anybody wants to check it out, they can. But I gotta say, do you mind if I read right now a little bit of what you texted me this morning about what you woke up thinking about?
As a writer, I would be very honored. Thanks.
Okay. Well, I'm honored to read it. And it brought me to tears actually when I got this morning. Okay. So he said that in this case, if this is an inspiration to you, this is what I woke up thinking about this morning. How a person discovers perspectives they feel empowered by and are happy to act upon can radically change a person's quality of life and how they experience success. For example, for most of my life, I had perspectives on my disability that ranged from it's just something I have to deal with to this is totally awful and will definitely give me a miserable quality of life. Then one night, I have goosebumps and I lost my place. Then one night, a friend I trusted, respected, and loved offered me the perspective, Jason, your disability is a profound gift. At first, I didn't believe it, but as I started to take more actions in this direction, including beginning to be a public speaker and eventually becoming a professional speaker who's given countless talks, including a Tedx Talk, everything about my life began to shift. Everyone has an opportunity to explore different perspectives on their lives and career and see which one lead towards happiness, success, and feeling good, and which ones simply don't make much sense to them or don't feel good to act upon. And that was something you felt in your heart and wrote this morning to me, and it just took my breath away because we all make excuses and we all try to find perfection. And it
Mm,
sounds like you did that for a lot of years, not really
mm.
wanting to accept. Can you take us through, like, one of my questions is, at what age did your parents talk to you about what happened? And can you share that with us?
Um, I've been finding out what happened throughout my life, and gradually, and I am the thing that happened is when I was born, I was excited to be out in the world and make jokes and make corny jokes and stuff. So I surprised my parents in the middle of the night, and like, oh, most people, they were sleeping, but luckily they have very clear heads and got us to the emergency room in time. But in the process, my umbilical cord became kinked like a garden hose, which makes it hard for me to say say the word umbilical.
Yeah, I would.
Hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that then, what became of, so you obviously are healthy otherwise, you have a speech impediment, and did that affect anything else?
Oh, definitely, definitely my coordination, Debbie. If we were on a softball team and you wanted to win, you definitely would not want me on your team. You be like, hey, go over there, Jason, and cheer. You can do that, but
Oh my goodness. I love your sense of humor. It's amazing. And you are you have a brilliant mind, and just like what you had written this morning to me and what was on your heart and on your mind for the show, it just is so inspiring. And so you go along, and at some point your parents explained to you, because I read something about you, something happened in the 4th grade where you were like, wait a minute, something is different and not like everything else in the room. And then you said, oh, it's me. So was that the first time you really thought, was in 4th grade, or was it before that and you were just making a joke in that article I read?
so my parents started me off well. They could have taken a perspective of why us, why did this happen to us? We're a great couple. Why was a kid born with an impediment? Or they could have taken a perspective. Uh, Bob, we love you, Bob. Uh, um, that makes my heart sing, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, we
Uh,
had a message come in from Bob Donnell for those who are just listening. And Bob Donnell also knows Jason very well, and they have love for one another, and they're expressing that right now. Thank you, Bob.
and my wall is on too. Good to always good to see him, Mike.
Thank you
You,
guys for coming.
Michael. Yeah, I should say your name right. If I've known you a long time, so I should say Michael instead of Mike. Anyway, they could have taken the perspective like, why us, or we're going to love our son, but he's just going to live this profoundly limited, small life because he has a disability. But they took the perspective that I was the best. I was the only son in that world. I was the best. And in that perspective, as a young person, I flourished. But they couldn't keep me safe from considering other perspectives. I mean, no parent can keep their kids safe forever from considering other less important perspectives. And in fourth grade, I changed schools, and for whatever reason, I started. It's not like the kids were mean to me, but I started looking around and I developed a new perspective of this sucks. I really do not like being different. And and this is going to really limit my life. And I became really nervous really fast, and I began to doubt myself a lot. I became more shy in certain respects, and the perspective we have on our not only have on our lives, like to say, but the perspectives we act into have a profound impact on the quality of our life. Can I give you a silly example?
Yes, I would like an example.
So so we so I live like half an hour from Sioux Falls, and I was walking in Sioux Falls before the show, and I wanted to eat, and the place I wanted to drive through would have taken a long time, wasn't in a good location, and I would have been late for the show, and I kept being like, do I just skip dinner? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And sometimes we don't know what to do. But then suddenly I'm like, I can go to this other place, and the route doesn't have much traffic, and the drive through wouldn't be busy, and I got home on time.
Yes. And
So
I see.
perspective change isn't always like a monumental thing. It's
Yeah,
sometimes very small.
exactly. And I love that you're saying this because you're giving us something that literally just happened like an hour before this show started. It doesn't always have to be something extremely difficult to figure out. It's just perspective of anything in life. We always have how we look at it this way, how we look at it this way, and we figure it out, right? I want to talk about there was a quote where you said, I was my biggest bully.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So so like things sometimes tend to do in life. My insecurity in fourth grade got compounded because my best friend died, and then my grandma died, and by seventh grade I was just miserable, and I felt so alone, and I was worried at that time about nuclear war breaking out between the USSR and the United States, and I was just frantic, and I instead of loving myself as a gift that Ina pointed out that I am, I took the exact opposite road, and thought I'm not only worthless here, I'm a detriment to people, and so I attempted to take my own life.
I did not read that. I didn't know that. Wow. Whew. Okay. Wow. Okay, I gotta take a second to process. Whew. Oh my gosh. So at
Uh,
what point, Jason, did you learn that you aren't worthless and you started to look at yourself in a different way and love who you are and your brilliant mind and all you have to offer?
hey Flo, good to see you.
I think
Um,
so.
Flo is awesome too.
She is. I'm
Flo,
going to read this. Bob Donnell says Jason has a brilliant mind and his parents are amazing. Had the opportunity to spend a couple of hours with them at my house. They are brilliant intellectually and with great wisdom. Yes. And I appreciate you saying just a few minutes ago that your parents accepted you as you were and thought you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. So you always had them to help you flourish. And I also love the fact that you said parents, while they can love you and try to give you all the confidence and all
mm,
of that,
mm,
you and ourselves,
mm,
we have to take responsibility for the perspective we take on who we are. It's us. We can't blame our parents for what they did or didn't do. It's us and our lives that we need to
mm,
live. And
mm,
I appreciate you saying that because I'm a parent, and there are times
mm,
I look and say,
mm,
maybe I should have done this or could have done that. But
mm,
one thing stands to the test of time is I love them unconditionally always.
mm,
And the
mm,
decisions as an adult that they make now, they have to take responsibility for that.
mm,
So kudos to your parents for giving you such a great start in life.
mm.
And could you enlighten us and let us know what happened and how did you get back on path to love yourself and reach for goals?
I was so young. Young people. I mean, they think that nearly adults and have so much experience, but they really are so young. And in seventh grade, I just, as I said, I developed that super destructive perspective, and I attempted to take my own life. But luckily, when I was in the middle of that, another voice, another perspective, if you will, came into my mind and heart and said, Jason, this is not the way. And I called for help. Sometimes any of us at any age can feel so alone and like we have to do it all ourselves, and that everyone else has it all figured out and we are the slow ones who can't figure out anything. But really, it takes courage to reach out to people. It takes a lot of courage, but it's such a gift. It's a gift for your healing. And it's a gift for them because when you tell them that, hey, this isn't going well at all, they suddenly can relax and be like, I don't have to be perfect. Someone else isn't perfect. I have space to be me. Holding ourselves to uh if we have the perspective that we have to be perfect, that's just so completely overwhelming because it's something that that humans just do not accomplish in this life.
Jason, I have written down a quote that you stated, and I'm going to read it right now. You said, life is way too precious to be perfect.
Hmm.
We deserve to live holy, imperfections, and all. That's your words. I wrote that down because, wow, how empowering.
It's in this book.
And I ordered that book. I don't have it yet, but I'm going to read that book. You are a
Hmm.
beautiful writer. And the other part of this is, let's go back just a second. So
Hmm.
you
Good.
had attempted the suicide thing. I want to touch on that because oddly enough, September is Suicide Prevention Month. Okay.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then you just brought that up and it's a segue to something else. Locally, we have a family here that lost their son to suicide a few
Oh
years.
gosh.
Yes, and
So sad.
beautiful family, beautiful children. And the mother and the father have a music fest going on September 24th. It's a Saturday and locally here. And my goal is to get as many bodies to that music fest as possible to honor her
Mm,
son and everyone else who have lost the battle to suicide. So just that little.
mm.
Anybody that wants tickets, let me know. I will get the tickets to you. It's going to be huge music and everything. But you were able to call for help and get the help that you needed. And that is brave. And so I guess the message here is to anyone listening who is depressed or feeling like they need to be perfect and they aren't and they feel worthless. People don't want you to go away and you aren't. You are worthy, and reach out to someone.
I would add to the beautiful words you said that if anyone's in that place, I've been there, and I know you're seeing your life through like a limited, very limited frame of reference. But but ju- even though you can't see it now, and even though it feels awful, know that your life is 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 huge, and your future is huge, and there's so many possibilities. It's tough, but just be patient. Call for help. Go through the healing process. People feel bad all the time. You're not the only one, and it's really tough. But there's more. There's community, and you have a lot to offer the world, even if you can't see it at this exact moment. You do. Your presence here is very important.
Every one of us, our presence is so important.
Mm,
We're here for a reason. And look at you, Jason.
mm,
Jason, look at you. You are going around the United States and you're affecting people around the world by you saying, yeah, I wish I had this speaking voice. I watched part of your TED
mm,
Talk where you said, you know, you
mm,
everyone that has public speaking has to have blah 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 blah, and then you come
mm,
on and you're like, you have a speech impediment, but you're here to say, I don't care. I have something to say, and whether it comes out like you think it should or not, my message is valuable, and you are valuable, and you're helping people see you don't there's not one person on the planet that's perfect, whether they think they are or not. They aren't. So let's all accept each other for our beautiful uniqueness. We can learn from one another. I'm learning from you. I am so inspired by you. You're just
mm.
impressive. Bob Donnell says, Jason, can you share about your really long walk and the lessons you learned?
Sure. I think it was the summer of 2020. I was back home in the Midwest, and just took to walking in the country. There's so many gravel roads out where we live, and and I walked farther and farther, and then one day I'm like, I went to talk about a perspective thing. I was like, I wonder if I can walk 30 miles in one day.
That's a
And
lot.
then until that point, I would, if someone had asked me, "Can you walk 30 miles in a day?" I would have been like, "No, no, and that's not me. I like to walk, but 30 miles is too far." But I mean, it took me from morning to evening, and it was hot, but I walked 30 miles in one day. Debbie, we just don't know. I mean, we think we know exactly what we're capable of, but but we really don't. We're so much more than than our fears. We're so much more than what we tell ourselves. We are.
I agree. I agree. It's gosh, just you got me. You got me. Woo. Yeah, I had written down some things that you had said, and one of the things I got to put these on because I can't. I got teary eyed too. People can be very mean to one another, but we often save our ugliest viciousness for ourselves.
Oh.
That's another thing that you said. I have some quotes. I'm going to keep plugging them because.
I
Um,
mean, this is awesome. Thank you.
oh, thank you. Lots of little nuggets of information and quotes that's come from your heart that wow,
Can I talk about that quote for just a second?
sure.
I see. One of the things I think is insidious about being mean to ourselves is we can do it on the when we think we can do it on the sly, like no one sees it. It's not like choosing not to mow your front yard for 2 months and everyone can see the weeds and the stuff growing. We can do it on the sly, and so we're like, what does it matter? This often we're like, what does it matter? This is just the way I am, but it does matter. We're I believe we're sacred beings. We're each unique. There'll never be anyone exactly. There wasn't anyone like us before, and there will never be anyone like us again. And it does matter how we treat that uniqueness, how we treat the gift we are.
Oh, that's so true. How we are a gift and how we treat ourselves sometimes isn't very appreciative of that gift.
Like, Debbie, would you ever get a birthday gift and not like it, so you just get in front of the person who gave it to you and start stomping on it? And
No. I just had a visual. No, I would never ever do that. Even if
yeah,
I
we
right?
will be mortified with ourselves for doing that. But how often do we do the exact thing to ourselves, and how often do we condone rationalize that behavior?
Mhm. Good analogy. That's absolutely amazing. Yeah, if we think of it like that too. And we've talked in groups and with other podcasters, and we get together on the Len and Scott show every Tuesday night. And we've talked so often about the words and the things we think of and the words we speak is our reality. We're creating that for
Mm,
our lives. And
mm.
so what you're saying aligns with that. You know, and I like the way you put it. I've never heard it put like that before, but we are gifts. How are we appreciative of our gifts? Or are we going to stomp
Mm.
on it and say, I don't like it?
I
That's not,
don't like it.
I don't
I
like,
like that. I don't like it.
I don't like it. Yeah. I
I
love
don't
that.
like it.
Yeah. So how did with going through everything that you had gone through and even with having amazing parents, created your own perspective of your life? And how did you dig yourself out of that and appreciate your gift?
So the answer is community. My like I will when I reach high school, I really wanted to learn to drive, but at the same time, I was super afraid. I'm like, I have a disability, can I drive? But my dad took me out time and time again till I learned to drive, and I had good teachers in high school and in college, and so more community, and then fast forward to saying your voice and disability are a gift, and suddenly it dawned on me that I'm capable of way more with my life.
Mm, that's
And
powerful, Jason.
And has this been an easy path to follow as a speaker with a speech impediment? Or I would say let's take the speech impediment thing out of it. Just, is running your own business ever like this delightful
Right.
easy path to fall? No, no, it is not. Sometimes the gifts we are giving, sometimes the gifts we are given doesn't necessarily mean they'll be easy to appreciate. Sometimes a lot of work and a lot of uncertainty.
Wow.
A lot.
Mm. That's beautiful. Bob Donnell says Jason was at one of my day-long courses at my house and lost his keys to his car, and he didn't freak out. He didn't freak out back, was very calm, and even though he was concerned, he didn't allow it to derail him from the learning of a day, and he set such a great example to me. Yeah, that's true. Not allowing your emotions to make you behave a certain way, and you being in control of self awareness and saying, being worked up over this lost keys situation, I can't leave, here I am. But what a beautiful day of learning. That's amazing, Jason. Thank you for sharing that, Bob, and Flo and Trisha and Sean and Julie and all the people who have said hello. I want to take a moment to thank them. And I want you to say whatever you want to say, Jason, but I'm going to keep giving quotes that I've written down. Another one is, I am
Can I just say something quick about what Bob said?
absolutely, this is about you. You say whatever you want.
And then you can read the quote because I'm loving the quotes. But I was thinking about this recently. We 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 are always, pretty much always, between some sort of problem and the solution to that problem, and the problem looks a million different ways depending on the day, and we have an option. Are we going to freak out every time we have a problem and throw our hands up, or are we going to do our imperfect best to relax into the space and seek help, like Bob and a lot of people were looking for my keys, and eventually the solution happened, and I could have spent those hours freaking out, or I could have
Enjoyed the
been
time there, the extra time you had there.
yeah.
That's awesome. That's very true. Um, Another quote, and I just started pulling stuff as it meant something to me personally. And life is at once challenging, humbling, and inspiring. That you said that too. And it's like the life that you've led and the things that you've overcome. When you know how sometimes when someone says something, it's like empowering, but then another person says it, it's like, wow, this is a wow. These
Hmm,
quotes from you are a wow, because
hmm,
you've had to deal with a disability that you've chosen to consider. Yeah, it's challenging, it's humbling, but it's also inspiring, because you're taking this as what you have as a gift and using it to better yourself and to share it with the world to inspire people.
hmm.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Let's see. Bob Donnell says Jason is one of my all-time favorite human beings. Well, there you go.
This is such a treat, Bob. Thank you.
Oh, and see, the thing is, oh, and then Tom again, Jason is an influencer by his presence.
Thanks, Tom. I don't know you yet, but thank you, and find me on Facebook. I would like to meet you.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's in Grow Live Academy with us. Another thing that you said is, I am now open to the slow work of nurturing and growing my confidence on a daily basis.
Hmm.
And,
the
that's something
slow
all of us
work.
need to do.
What?
That's something all of us need to do.
So yeah, yes, all of us need to do it, and for so many years, I and this was part of being isolating myself with my perspective. I was thinking I'm so unique and nobody understands me because I have a disability. But the more I listen to people and the more I interview people and the more I just talk and enjoy people, I realize that all of us have challenges. All of us have places in our lives where we'll focusing maybe on perspectives that don't serve us. Like a common one is nothing I do will change the situation. For a
Yeah.
lot of people, that's a perspective I think. But is that really an empowering perspective? Nothing I will do will change the situation. So yes, I have a unique and exciting story that involves a speech impediment, but we all have a chance to grow and find perspectives that are more empowering and to act on those perspectives. Oh, this is one thing I wanted to say. Ina could have told me, Jason, your disability and voice are a gift, and I could have gone, oh, that's nice. It's a gift, and I could have done nothing to change. Just been like, oh, hey, my voice is a gift, and then just lived the exact same life I was. But perspective shifts become powerful when we feel comfortable taking actions on the new perspective. Oh, if my voice is a gift, what do I do now? What's the next step? If you get a new perspective and you like it, you can be like, oh, so I have the new perspective. And what is the next step?
Oh, yeah, and put action behind it. Your friend that loved you so much, that had the guts to say that out loud to you, because honestly, sometimes people will give us a message that we aren't ready to receive.
Hmm.
And,
Yeah, for sure.
and so I don't know your friend, but I'm assuming he or she doesn't have a speech
She,
impediment.
no, she doesn't.
So for her to say to you, because she doesn't have that disability, that you have a gift, it would have been very easy for you to have said, "Really? Do you want it? Because it's a disability. It's called that for a reason." But what you did was you let that simmer a little bit and you thought about it and you said, it is me. And striving for perfection, no one's going to make it there. I need to love who I am, even with my disability, and share my brilliant mind. And that's what you did. So I think that's amazing. I have another question. This
Okay.
is very personal, so feel free to not answer it. I mean, I don't know if it's going to come off wrong, but I just feel like I need to ask it. To this day, do you feel like you have people who judge you when you start to talk?
Um, yeah, I think about this a lot. Um, yeah. So if I came upon someone with a speech impediment, would I wonder, would I go through the list? Have they had a stroke? Are they this? Are they that? Yeah, yes, I would. It's natural human nature, I think, to 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 judge or ask questions. But the trick is like notice that, oh, I'm making a judgment. Do I know that they had a stroke? No, I have no idea what's going on. So, and then to continue the conversation. Also, on the other end of it, as the person with a speech impediment, now I'm prepared that people might think that, and I do it very naturally because I practice it all the time. Now I just stop making intelligent, lighthearted comments, and it gets us on the same page real fast.
I love it because, the reality of it is you are brilliant and you do have a lot to share. And I guess the point to this is, I think when we talk about perception, and you've mentioned perception so many times,
Hmm.
how we as human
Hmm.
beings perceive one another is also we falter because sometimes people will just the way someone looks or the way someone sounds
Hmm.
before you even really get to know a person, we kind of put labels on people.
Hmm.
And so I just feel like another beautiful thing about having you on this show that's called Find It, which is can be finding anything, inspiration, which you are, finding compassion, kindness, all of these things that we find in life or that we need to find. What a perfect guest for the show, for you to show us all of these amazing qualities that you have that we also can find through learning through you. I love it. I
Hmm.
love
And I love the title of the show. It can be used so many ways. It's brilliant.
it. Well, before we started the show, I got to tell everybody. I said, well, now the show's Find It. So, we talk about something that you have found. And he picked up his water bottle and he goes, I found my water bottle. I was like, okay, gotcha.
I
He's
found
got his
it.
water bottle. We're going to
Oh,
stay
and
hydrated.
Bob, if you're listening, I found the car keys.
He's got his keys. We're all good. I want you to talk some more about just empowering other. Well, let's do this. Tell us in life what you have found.
What have I found? I've discovered discovered that everyone has potential, that everyone has gifts, that that and everyone has challenges, and within all that, there's just immense room for loving each other, be, being creative, and really loving that we have differences of opinion. Politics have been so divisive recently, but I mean, when throughout history have all humans ever agreed on anything? We're different beings with different opinions and different visions, and that's part of the joy of it. And I've also found the world is so amazingly beautiful. I go on walks almost every day, and I'm mostly in Sioux Falls lately, and I've lived here like most of my life. But Debbie, I keep finding new things to photograph. We can take where we live for granted to such an extent, but if you feel you're taking it for granted, I challenge you to look more closely. Like, what's the next? Oh, what's some new beautiful detail you can find as you walk down your block, as you drive to work? I don't care if it's a big detail or a small one, but just the world is amazing. I look at it, love it, appreciate it, and let what you see out there, the beauty you see out there, and remind you of the beauty you have within you.
Oh, I love this. And my daughter just came in. Hi, Tori. Happy Wednesday. So,
Oh, Toy.
yeah. So
I never knew Tori was short for Victoria. I've lived my whole life not knowing that.
well, look, you found out that too. On Find It.
That's awesome. Yeah, I found that out.
You found it out
That's
on Find It.
that's better than my water bottle.
There you go. There you go. Hey, now that I know you're playing, I'm all about that. But
Hmm.
so what I heard you say, just to recap it, is you have found how to love yourself with your disabilities,
Hmm.
but you also find beauty in nature and the world around you. And
Yeah, nature and cities too.
in cities, yeah, everywhere we go in the world, we can find beauty within
Mm,
ourselves and exterior, outside of ourselves as
mm,
well. But I love what you said about find one thing at least every day new that's beautiful that you can appreciate. I love that. I'm going to do
mm.
that. I'm going to find, and I'm going to think of you every time. Oh, there's something I didn't notice and I love it and it's beautiful and I have found it, right? That's amazing.
And if you find one thing and find it beautiful and feel like finding find another. Yeah, I mean, maybe you find one and that's good. Maybe you find 20 and that's great.
Yeah, I think when we
Over.
practice things, it gets easier and we'll probably what we water grows. So,
Mm. What
what
we water grows.
yeah. So I have enjoyed this so much, and I want to give you the
Mm.
floor to finish saying if there's something I didn't ask you that you really want to share with us, or a story you would like to share with us, I'd like for you to do that now before we leave. If you can think of anything that you would like to share.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on. I've had so much. It's just been a great time, Debbie, and your producer Lynn is amazing too, and 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 seeing Bob and Flo and everyone on so fun. I yeah. No, what was I going to say? Um, just I mean, there's so many perspectives on what has gone on the past few years, but regardless, they have they've been out of the ordinary. They've been a challenge, and it's and and when we have substantial, unexpected challenges, I think it's easy to become disillusioned and think nothing will change. But as humans, and this is kind of cliche, but as humans, we are changes in our DNA. We came out of our mamas as teeny babies, not knowing how to do anything, and we grew and evolved from that state, and we're all coming out of the last few years as babies
Hmm.
to 2022, and can we be curious about what great things can happen? Can we just be curious and come with a perspective of curiosity and, and, enjoy and act on our lives and our visions as the gifts we are and move forward. Yes, things happened in the past. Things always happen in the past. But we can move forward. We can.
I love
We
that.
can.
I love that. And we definitely can. And also, from the words of Jason Freeman earlier, you are a gift. So don't jump on it and squash it.
Mm.
If you don't like your present, then I love it. Thank you so much for being here, Jason. I'll have to have you back on. We'll do another little session of our new perspective and what we've learned. So I thank you for being on and sharing this inspirational story, and you in general just being an amazing person, and appreciating who you are and loving yourself, which we all need to do and work on. So with that, I think it's a wrap. And don't forget to see us again next week at the same time. And Len, let's see our outro.